Think. Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
30 miles outside of New York City, nestled in the Long Island town of Amityville, stands the house forever linked to the Amityville horror phenomenon. On November 13, 1974, the estate was the scene of mass murder. Using a .35 Marlin rifle, 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family while they were asleep, which included his parents and 4 siblings. On November 13, 1974, DeFeo, who was 23 at the time, shot and killed his parents, Ronald and Louise DeFeo, both 43, and his 2 brothers and 2 sisters, ranging in age from 9 to 18. 13 months later, the Lutz family purchased the home at a drastically reduced price of $80,000 due to the murders, but only lasted 28 days before leaving it. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, lasted just 28 days in the house. They claim to have been driven out by terrifying paranormal activity, which they linked to the murders. Among the strange things that allegedly happened in the home were sightings of demons, objects moving on their own, slime pouring from the walls, a fly infestation in the dead of winter, strange demonic voices, and the family being attacked by unseen forces. The Lutz family experienced supernormal activity. Stepfather George Lutz had a history of dabbling in the occult. George was said to wake up at 3:15 a.m. every morning, which was around the time Ron carried out his murders. The Lutz family claimed to smell strange odors, see green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes, and experience cold spots in certain areas of the house. When a priest came to bless the house, he allegedly heard a voice scream, "Get out!" He told the Lutzes to never sleep in that particular room in the house. Other paranormal activity, a nearby garage door opening and closing, an invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen, a pig-like creature with red eyes staring down at George and his son Daniel from a window, George waking up to wife Kathy levitating off their bed, sons Daniel and Christopher also levitating together in their beds.
Don't you understand? It has to be done. That is where the room is! I can't go through here.
know well. It's the passage to hell.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, two of the world's most noted ghost hunters, host a two-part show of their investigation of the Amityville horror house before it was known of by anyone outside the Amityville area. Ed and Lorraine relate the real events and debunk the myths behind this story. The Warrens were invited by the Lutz family, who had mysteriously fled this home after living there only 28 days, leaving every single possession behind and vowing never to return. Ed and Lorraine share the horrific details of how, after years of doing such work, they had never been so terrified by a case. One of the most horrific, Ed recalls. Ed and Lorraine further relate how the demons they encountered on their first visit followed them home. Ronald DeFeo, 69, died Friday, March 15, 2021 at Albany Medical Center, where he was taken February 2 from a prison in New York's Catskill Mountains, the State Department of Corrections and Community Services said. The cause of his death wasn't immediately known. DeFeo was serving a sentence of 25 years to life in the 1974 killings in Amityville, on suburban Long Island. DeFeo had pursued an insanity defense at his trial, saying he heard voices that drove him to kill his family. He unsuccessfully sought a retrial in 1992, claiming that his 18-year-old sister killed the other 5 family members and that he then shot her. "I loved my family very much," he said at the 1999 parole hearing, where he also said he had gotten married while in prison.
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
If you're the devil, why not make the straps disappear?
That's much too vulgar a display of power, Caris.
Where's Reagan?
In here with us.
Show me Reagan and I'll loosen one of the straps.
Can you help an old altar boy, Father?
Your mother's in here with us, Caris. Would you like to leave a message? I see that she gets it.
If that's true, then you must know my mother's maiden name. What is it? What is it?
The idea that the Amityville horror was completely made up by Lutzes is false. Stories they told are common in the area around Amityville and Suffolk County that Amityville is located in. This area is known as the Devil's Quadrangle. There are a large segment of the population that believe such things. In addition, to say nothing happened at the house since the Lutzes is also false. A group of murdering Satanists led by Ricky Casso spent time there. There are people in Amityville that claim that the only strange thing that went on there was Ronald DeFeo going crazy, but that is not true.
Of course. It's right here. It's history. John Ketchum.
There were really Indian burial grounds in the area, and John Ketchum was a real person. However, much of their facts were not mixed up since John Ketchum was burned, and the burial ground was under the house. One of the more notorious settlers who came to the newly named Amityville in those days was a John Ketchum who had been forced out of Salem, Massachusetts for practicing witchcraft. John set up residence within 500 feet of where George Lutz then lived, continuing his alleged devil worship. He was buried somewhere on the northeast corner of the property. The house was built on land owned at one time by John Ketchum, whose evil actions towards Native Americans in 17th century Amityville during his mission are said to be the cause of the haunting at 112 Ocean Avenue. The Amityville house still stands, with a new address. The Amityville house officially sold in February 2017 to an undisclosed owner for $605,000, which was $200,000 less than the original asking price. It had been previously owned by 4 other families since the murders, one of which had the address changed to 108 Ocean Avenue. The house originally stood at 112 Ocean Ave. There is a few themes in several Long Island area murders. In the Amityville murders, Son of Sam, and the Reza murder, there was suggested involvement of demons, animals, and killing by rage. All three involved killing on Long Island, with a strong link to the South Shore of Suffolk County. In these murders, there were claims of demon possession. In the Son of Sam, the killer said a talking dog told him to do it. In Amityville there was Jody the pig. Furthermore, there was a witchcraft link. At the very least, there is a similarity of culture. In all three cases, there was an increasing rage that led the killer to snap.
It's the power. Holy water. Oh. It's the power of Christ that compels you. The power of Christ. The power of Christ compels you. 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 He brought you low by his blood-stained cross. Commands you. God the Son commands you. God the Holy Spirit commands you. The mystery of the cross commands you. The blood of the martyrs commands you.
They're mine. My panties.